Chiro Hustle. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession on the world's #1 chiropractic podcast. Before we dive into this powerful episode, please remember to subscribe to our channels and give us a 5-star rating on iTunes to continue hustling. This episode is brought to you by Peach State Payments. Ethical processing, more profit, less stress. Chiro HD, more than an EHR. Practice management simplified. Recover, new revenue, no compromise. Cool Blue VA, your virtual assistant. The Chiro Speaking Company, attract, educate, and convert. Chiro Spring, cloud-based, user-friendly software with all the essential features chiropractors need. OmniWave, redefining comfort and acoustic wave technology. The Chiro Hustle Podcast is sponsored by Chiro Health USA, ChiroScript AI, Chiro Moguls, Pure Chiro Notes, 5-Star Forge, Titronics, Sherman College of Chiropractic, Life Chiropractic College West, and the IFCO. Let's hustle.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 696 of the Chiro Hustle Podcast. I'm your producer, Luke Millette, and here's your host, James Chester.
So today we have the opportunity of interviewing Dr. Maxwell Eriksen. If you want to hear about his family in chiropractic and how it led him to the future to become a chiropractor, stay tuned for the full episode. Welcome back. This is another episode of the Chiro Hustle Podcast. Today I have Maxwell Eriksen on episode 696. I'm going to give a brief introduction of the topics that we're going to be discussing today, and then I'll tell you why we do what we do. First of all, Max comes from a chiropractic family, second generation DC family chiropractors. I'm sure we're going to talk about that. Diversification of practice is something that he believes in. He's been practicing for 7 years, and I think there's a really cool opportunity for people to understand that you don't have to wear the golden handcuffs. You don't have to be attached to your adjusting table 7 days a week. And we're going to talk about his preferred method of practice, which is Gonstead technique, and any advice he might have for the chiropractic students. But before we jump into his story and how he got into this beautiful profession, we are going to tell you our big why. Why do we do what we do? Well, first and foremost, we believe in freedom of speech. My journalistic background really anchors into that message. So we know what it's like to be traffic throttled, shadow banned, and censored. We'd never do that to you. Everybody that's ever been on here, Max, we've aired their episode. Pretty cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, I've never thought it was a good idea to ever censor anyone, because I don't like how it feels to me. We also believe in medical freedom and family health freedom. They're not the same things, but if you are curious about that, find yourself a chiropractor in your city. I'm sure they'd be happy to give you all the advice in the world to have a healthy family and to take care of yourself through chiropractic. Philosophically speaking, I feel like almost I shouldn't have to talk about these things, but I do. Because they're taking chiropractic philosophy out of chiropractic colleges, which I think is really stupid. So if you know a chiropractic student out there that's not getting philosophy on their campuses, please share this show and tell them to find out what the sacred trust is and tell them to guard it, because those are BJ Palmer's last written words. And if you want to learn more about chiropractic, go to our show notes, click on the sacred trust link, and you're going to find more about chiropractic than you ever did previously, I guarantee you. We also support subluxation-based chiropractic. Once again, if you have a chiropractor in your life that doesn't understand that word, please share the show. And then we do believe in innate intelligence and universal intelligence. We believe that when man or woman, the physical gets adjusted, it connects them to man or woman, the spiritual. I know it sounds woo-woo, but when that all happens and comes full circle, it creates educated intelligence. And that's what our show is all about. So this is episode 696 of the Chiro Hustle Podcast. Maxwell Eriksen, welcome to the show.
Love it. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. So let's just dive. Second generation chiropractor. When did you first get adjusted?
Actually, great story. This is my chiropractic story, you could say. So I was born at home, and I wasn't breathing. As my dad describes me, I was a perfect Apgar, and I was turning blue. So my dad adjusted my back and made me take the grasp of life. And that was my first adjustment, was to wake me up. So very beneficial to have a chiropractic dad. Yeah.
You know what it's kind of a cliche thing. They say chiropractic gives you years to your life and life to your years.
Yep.
Well, you're a living principle of that.
Definitely. Yeah. That's what I would say. It kind of gave me life. So.
Wow. Profound. And at what age did you decide that you were going to become a chiropractor?
Honestly, it was from the very beginning. It was kind of assigned to us as children of my dad, as everyone became a chiropractor, and then we could do whatever we wanted to do. So it became one of those things that's just like from the moment that I knew about I would grow up and have a profession, it was going to be a chiropractor. So
And
I'm not
and how
complaining.
many
Yeah.
chiropractors are in the family now?
So immediately we have obviously my dad, my sister, my brother, my brother-in-law, my brother-in-law, my wife, her brother is also a chiropractor. So I don't know, you did the math. Quite a few, maybe seven, something like that, seven or eight.
Right around 10.
Okay, well there you go. I don't know. A lot. We get some spirited debates that can happen. I can tell you that.
So what's life like around the holidays? Is everybody getting adjusted?
There's a lot of adjusting. Yeah, that definitely can go on, or complaining about the lack of skill from the other one. Like, oh, that's the best you got. You need to work on your chair. It's usually what I
So,
get.
well, that's interesting too. And how did you decide that Palmer was the right place for you?
It's where Dad went. It's where every one of my siblings went. It's just where you went. You went to Palmer. There was no really other schools.
Me growing up in Davenport, Iowa, like the first 30 years of my life, like I only thought there was one chiropractic college.
Sure.
I
Yeah,
thought all chiropractors went to Palmer.
I can see that. I mean, it's the fountainhead. It's the beginning. It's the best. It's the Harvard.
Yeah, and I think it's just a very distinguished degree, and people know that there's if you're a trained Palmer DC, that you
Yes.
know how to find a subluxation and move a bone.
hmm I think
How
there is
did you
definitely.
how did you hone in on deciding the technique that you wanted to practice with?
Again, that kind of it was a combination, honestly. Like Dad's Gonstead. Everyone in my family knows Gonstead. My sister and brother went through the Troxel program, if I remember correctly, and Dad was up there at Mount Horeb. He graduated in 1973, so he would go up there and sit with Gonstead, talk to him, go to his house, stuff like that. So there's always a bunch of Gonstead-based stories that, to me, Gonstead was the only technique out there. I really, like you, I didn't really understand there were other techniques of chiropractic. Like I thought everybody just did Gonstead.
So why I guess for me not being a chiropractor, I'm just really curious about you saying that went to Palmer, Gonstead practitioner. Um, why do you think it's so popular for other people to learn Gonstead? Like, do you think it's like just one of the most fundamental, basic adjusting techniques out there that everybody has to know?
I think that Gonstead has a degree of like influence said about it. If you know, let's put it this way. I get a lot of patients who come to me because I'm a Gonstead chiropractor. I don't get patients, and I get patients who come to me because I'm a chiropractor, but they seek me out because I'm a Gonstead chiropractor, and that's why they chose me over other chiropractors in the area. So I think that there's a degree of challenge and excellence, you could say, that comes from a Gonstead guy, and it just makes logical sense. Like the methodology, the way to analyze the spine and figure out what you're going to adjust and how to adjust it, and looking at the spine as a whole, like it makes what I would say farm sense, logical sense.
Well, let's get controversial, can we?
Oh, please. I was big into controversy during Palmer, so no problem.
Um, there's a trend of chiropractic groups that aren't X-raying.
Sure.
Um, why do you suppose that they're starting a type of practice where they're not X-raying?
I think there's a combination to that. I think that that's a office that they're trying to fit into the mold that we are being herded into as a profession, and that's this allopathic, evidence-based practice of don't take X-rays unless you have a clinical reason or a suspicion of pathology, something of that order. That what's the warrant, what's the reason? And I get that to a degree. I do get that, but in my world, is if I'm going to adjust a patient and I want to do it right, I want X-rays. Like my preferred method is to have X-rays on my patients. And it's always going to be that way because I want them to get their money's worth. I want to know I'm not adjusting an asymmetrical formation of a bone as opposed to, a misalignment. I want to see, and I think it's sad that people are going away from that. But yeah, I think that's why they're doing that, is to fit to the mold of the allopathic mindset.
Yeah. And for me, I'm just like, why would you ever go to somebody that didn't at least take a picture of what they're working with?
Right.
Like if you have the resources out there, it's not like we're like lack of opportunity for like getting imaging done. Like if you're a chiropractor, you don't have imaging, you can like
Prefer that.
send out for it.
Yep. All the time.
Like there's no excuse in my opinion. See, me being a patient and an advocate and a new patient specialist and this podcast guy, a documentary guy, I'm like, why would anybody ever run a chiropractic clinic or practice, whatever you want to call them, without shooting an x-ray to rule out any contraindications? Because, you know, my first interview today is with Dave Major.
Oh man.
And
we'll come back to that. Sorry, you triggered something in my head.
Yeah. And as I was talking to him today, he's like, you know what I tell people differently than what you do? I was like, no, please share. He's like, I always tell people, come in, let us see if we can help you out. If we can't help you, we will refer you to somebody that's better fit to help you.
Yep.
And that's why I think imaging is so vital. And I know that Gonstead does a really great analysis. That's why I really wanted to like jump into this game of talking about, yeah, that's what I was doing like early on in my career as a CBP traction tech. I was doing all the like line drawing analysis with like a protractor and like grease pencils.
The wheel thing, yep.
Yeah. Like that was my life. So I always believe that like anybody that's not shooting imaging and doing thermography together, like what are we doing here, guys?
Agreed. I saw that scope that I had. I love the little scopes.
Yeah, and you can see you're not guessing. You know, one of the things I learned early on is we don't want to guess with your health.
Right.
Like
right.
You're going to come see a chiropractor to correct the vertebral subluxation, but why are we guessing, guys? And that's my call to arms for all chiropractors out there, is like, stop guessing.
Yes. To see is to know. I'm with you.
Yes. It's like taking an x-ray away from a dentist and saying, oh, we're good. We're just going to poke around there. Yeah. We're going to palpate the gum and we're going to see what's going on. And then we'll start just repairing. Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Sounds like a great plan.
No. What are we doing? Going to the dark ages? Like we're going to go back in time. Anyways, one of those controversial things.
Let me jump into that real quick. So you triggered this in my head and I wanted to say it about it. Is at my old office, I had a patient come in who had been seen by his osteopath, DO, and for low back pain. And the DO didn't do any imaging, didn't maybe listen to the patient fully, and sent him out to a chiropractor to take care of the low back pain. He went to a different chiropractor. I don't know. I don't believe they took imaging. Saw him a couple times, no difference. And then he came to me because he knew I took imaging. So that I took imaging of his low back, you know, and it had some signs of it, you know, arthritis, that kind of stuff. Treated him for a little bit. Corona happened, canceled out my care we got shut down. We were one of the only states, I think, in the country that got shut down for chiropractic, in Kentucky. And so I didn't see him again for like 6 weeks. Come back and he still got some low back pain, you know, and it's going down his leg. So I'm like, okay, well, let's take an image of the leg and see what's going on there. And when we took an image of the leg, we found a big old osteolytic tumor in his femur that everybody had missed on that and not necessarily paying attention. Before Corona, I had like 3 visits with him, so I didn't even really get time to rule in or rule out progress. And so once we got that imaging, then sent him out immediately. I ordered the MRI, got the MRI done, found it in the rest of his body per se, in his lungs and his brain and so forth. Got that over to his DO, got him into oncology, and he's still alive today, luckily, because the dumbass chiropractor found the problem that everyone else was missing, because I did my due diligence and took my imaging. So yeah, it kind of ties back to that.
Well, I just believe that you have to do proper work. And if you're going to go to school for 7 years to be able to be a chiropractor, then use all your tools.
Amen.
You know, and I believe in the philosophy of Gonstead too. Find it, fix it, leave it alone.
Leave it alone.
And I also believe in the old school BJ Palmer philosophy, is the body needs nothing extra in it. It simply needs no interference. Once we clear the interference, the body's a self-healing, self-regulating organism, which is amazing.
Yes.
But people don't understand that. And they're like, oh, that doesn't make any sense to me. And I'm like, well, if you have pressure on your organ system and your glandular system because of you have a misalignment in your spinal canal, and a chiropractor can find an image and show you that and then correct that, and then the body does what it's supposed to, functions naturally, and symptoms vanish. And not to say that they go away overnight, but I think that everybody has a profound impact once they start getting chiropractic. And a lot of times people ask me like, well, how long do I have to go to? I heard if I go to the chiropractor once, I have to go the rest of my life. And I'm like, well,
sure.
I think that that's a pretty amazing thing, that you can find somebody that will take care of you for the rest of your life. How about it?
You're right.
It's not a damn you. It's a, wow, that's amazing. You should probably do that then.
You're going to use your body for the rest of your life. Hopefully, you should probably take care of it like a vehicle, or like your teeth, or any of those other things that could be related. 100%.
Well, it's so funny. It's like only brush the teeth you want to keep.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Only, adjust the bones per se, or you want to keep around. It's crazy.
So I know you've been out of school 7 years now.
Mm-hmm.
You're a part-time chiropractor.
Cool.
So you've decided that you wanted to diversify your career.
Yes.
Doing other things. Talk about your interests outside of chiropractic and how this gives you a better quality of life.
So to start with, the reason I used to work 6 days a week in an office, 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Monday through Friday, basically, and then some on Saturdays. And I didn't really have any time for my wife. I didn't really have any time for myself or anything of that order. So I started opening a Ninja Warrior gym, like the TV show American Ninja Warrior, while working that office. So I would go work my office till 6 p.m., then go work at my Ninja gym till 9 p.m. to get started, pretty much every day of the week. And then I was eventually able to stop that office working 6 days a week. And then I also opened a comic book shop. So now I have a Ninja Warrior gym, a comic book shop, and I work as a chiropractor 2 days a week. And I know this seems kind of crazy, like you're not even a chiropractor anymore, stuff like that. But actually, what it does for me, it allowed me to reset my passion for chiropractic, you could say, because I was burnt out at 6 days a week. I did that for like 3 years. I think about 3 years, maybe 4 years, 3 years. And it was just, I was exhausted. I was done. I had lost the flame, the magic for the miracle that you can perform with chiropractic. Like it just became a monotony to me. And so getting out of it and doing these other things allowed me to really reconnect with myself, and what my dreams and desires were in Ninja and in comics. And then go back into chiropractic, and with my wife, who's also a chiropractor, and we were able to just work a couple days a week, work together, which some people may absolutely hate working with their spouse, but I like working with mine. She's pretty awesome. And so it gave me freedom, and it gave me the passion back into chiropractic that I'm gonna go back to 3 days a week now, and that's probably the most that I'll do. I think I like being out there and being able to do my other things, go travel when I want to, go on vacation when I want to, really live my life to the fullest at the same time of helping others live their life to the fullest. I think that's something everybody should look into, is find a way to diversify, whether you get into crypto, whether you get into real estate, whether you get into what other idea or thing you may want to try, do it. And then you can have more freedom in your chiropractic profession, and you can have less fear that if these patients cancel on you today, are you going to pay your bills? You can have that backup income that doesn't need you in it.
Well, I think it comes a lot from your responsibility from being a chiropractic kid. And your dad was like, look, man, go to chiropractic school and become a chiropractor, but you can have other interests.
Yes, definitely.
Like, I think there was a lot of freedom from your upbringing to understand like the model that fit best for you.
It did. You're right. And he taught me a heck of a work ethic. There's nobody, my dad worked like Gonstead. He didn't go to bed on the same day he woke up. And unfortunately, I kind of share that mentality even now, but it's always the best.
You made it to Chiro Hustle. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession on the world's #1 chiropractic podcast. This episode is brought to you by Peach State Payments, ethical processing, more profit, less stress. Chiro HD, more than an EHR, practice management simplified. Recover, new revenue, no compromise. Cool Blue VA, your virtual assistant. The Chiro Speaking Company, attract, educate, and convert. Chiro Spring, cloud-based, user-friendly software with all the essential features chiropractors need. OmniWave, redefining comfort and acoustic wave technology. The Chiro Hustle podcast is sponsored by Chiro Health USA, Chiro Script AI, Chiro Moguls, Pure Chiro Notes, 5-Star Forge, Titronics, Sherman College of Chiropractic, Life Chiropractic College West, and the IFCO. Let's hustle. So did you ever practice with your dad?
Yeah, a little bit. I worked underneath him, but he would come in and work in the office with me, and until me and him would eventually butt heads. We were very similar in a lot of ways, and he he didn't always like to teach me because I'm, it's like lions. They sometimes challenge the younger lions in their pride per se. It's very much similar with my family. It's like,
Oh, trust me, one of my best friends got me my first chiropractic job, and I helped run his office with him.
Sure.
And, I'm the traction tech, and there's 2 doctors there, and, I didn't back down very easy. So
Yeah.
I can only imagine working with like family.
It was always, you never knew what was going to happen next. Let's just say that it could have been a YouTube series on its own.
So we got some comments here. Ben Karras.
Ben.
Yeah.
Ben.
He said it's awesome. Ninja Warrior Gym and comics totally fits you. Good to see you, Max.
Yeah.
It's been 8 years out of school in 2 months. Wow. Keep killing it, brother.
I hope you're doing great, Ben. Thank you.
See, that's the thing about chiropractic is it is a global community, and we're all connected, and it's a very small ecosystem.
Agreed.
And that's one of the most beautiful things about running a podcast and interviewing chiropractors and having a long goal with the chiropractic messaging is these things are going to be evergreen. Like this episode will be on the internet forever.
Oh, nice.
But that's just it, is like, if we do it right, then we can create a very cohesive message of what chiropractic is. My first interview today, I was talking to Dave Major, who's been in the chiropractic profession for 40 plus years.
Yeah.
And he's like, congratulations, man. And I was like, yeah, well, I'm documenting this profession. And now we have irrefutable evidence. Like if anybody ever tries to switch what chiropractic is, I can go them with like gigabytes of information and downloads of chiropractors talking about their profession and what it means to them. And nobody can change it then. Like we have evidence, and we've documented it for a long time now. So there's a bigger reason as to what we do over here at Hustle, but we've definitely created a storyline for the profession.
I relate to that in a lot of ways. During college, I found a program where I could burn DVDs onto my computer, and I would go to the library and I would get Reggie Gold and I would get whoever else I could find, Dr. Burns, and I would record whatever videos they had on file onto my computer. And I just have this huge database of all of this chiropractic information from everywhere I could collect it from, because it locks it in. It shows where essentially the roots that who knows if that will survive per se in this new chiropractic education system we're going into.
Well, yeah, that's why I kick ass at the beginning of our introduction. I'm like, share the show, get this into the chiropractic students' hands, like put it in their earbuds. Like, I don't care what they're doing. Like, give them this information because they're not getting it at these schools. And unfortunately, we have to supplement them. It's like, if you're not getting a good diet, what do you have to do? You have to supplement with nutrients, and you have to supplement with vitamins. And that's what we're doing with Hustle, is we're supplementing philosophy into these chiropractic students.
Good.
Now let's talk about students. I know you one of the topics you wanted to crush on today was advice for chiropractic students.
Well, so one thing is seeing Ben there, it just throws back to the thought that, man, try and stay connected with your friend group, with your in school. Your friends get you through school. Through Palmer, my class was amazing. Everyone in that class was just awesome. They helped each other get through the hardest parts. We were able to have our own philosophy nights where we would talk and rant and argue with each other. And honestly, I miss some of that so much, of being able to just get around all those like-minded chiropractic hopefuls and just battle it out with our different views on technique or our different views on philosophy. That was the best. But as for moving forward about advice for chiropractic students, one, learn to practice soon. Practice as soon as you can. First try, if you're still an undergrad, if you can go to technique nights or clubs or seminars and tell them that you're a chiropractic student, get in there and practice when it's easy. Because at least at Palmer, and not that the first 3 tries were easy by any means, but the less that you can worry about the school and more that you can worry about the practice, do that as much as possible. No one has ever come to me at my practice and said, "Oh, you got all B's or A's or whatever good grade. You scored 100% on that neurophys test. That's why you're my chiropractor." No, it's because I have good people skills and because I can adjust. I get people better. The results matter. And those are the things that as a chiropractic student, I focused on heavily was practicing. I had this little best thing you can do if you're trying to learn cervical chair is get a Nerf football, like a squishy football, and tape it to the back of a speeder board. And then you hold the speeder board or the Nerf football in one hand, and you take the speeder board and you're just pushing into that because that Nerf football acts almost like tissue in the compression that you're going to experience when you're adjusting into the meat of a neck. And so if you can learn to squish that Nerf ball to kind of take out to the point of isolation what that feels like, and then provide that quick boom with that speeder board and set the tension, you'll learn the muscle memory and the development of the cervical chair thrust so easy. That was the easiest part for me. Chair was a breeze. Low backs kicked my butt. Apparently, I'm the opposite of most people. Most people get easy low backs and difficult in the chair, but that technique was really helpful. And then study for boards as soon as you can. Don't wait to study for boards for them to come around. There are board resources out there for like study guides. The sooner you start reading those and then going through the classes as they're correlating with the information that you're learning at boards, because boards has the shortcuts, it has the mnemonics, it has the like muscle memory or the memory games in order to learn all these associations. But if you read that before you get into the classrooms, you're actually going to have a much better retention. And then finally, learn how you study. When I met my wife, she was one of those going to write everything down and summarize it people. That was the worst for chiropractic school. There is too much information that sounds very similar for you to have the time to do that and survive. And it would cause her to have like anxiety about the thing because she would be writing all this stuff down. If you use a combination of flashcards, writing stuff down, using whiteboards, like visual mnemonic memories, just mix multiple different ways and associate that one way with that particular area. I had a way to do biochem. It was visual. I drew out all the cycles and connected them all together. I had a way to do neurophys, which was note cards. I had a way to do organic, which was drawing, or general anatomy, which was drawing things out. Each one of those methods separated that information in my brain and made it much easier and digestible. And it made it where chiropractic school was a breeze for me, you know.
Well, just to unpack it and give some significance to the things you say there is everybody learns different. Some people learn, they can listen and learn perfect.
Right.
Some people watch and learn different. Some people read and that's how they learn. So there's also hands-on stuff. So there's
100%.
different ways that people implement their different levels of communication and how they can assimilate what they learn and actually implement it. So that's a big thing to talk about too, is like chiropractic. I don't know. I've never gone to a chiropractor and asked them like what spot in their class did they finish with their GPA. No, I've never done that. And I'm sure that most people that go in and find a doctor don't ever ask them, hey, what was your rank of class graduation, or what was your GPA? Nobody's ever interested in that. They just want to know that you can do your job the right way.
Can you get me better? Yes, I can.
Yep. I think there's 3 questions. Can you help me? How long is it going to take? How much will it cost?
Yep. That sounds very familiar. I think I hear that pretty frequently.
I think there's three storylines there. Can you help me? How long will it take? How much will it cost?
Definitely different ways to talk to people about that when they come in asking those questions, you know. And that's also something I'm very straightforward about. Like in my exam is I usually have like a 2-week rule with patients, and I tell them that if I can't get you at least 50% better in 2 weeks, I'm going to refer you out. I'm not the doctor for you, but I'm going to help you find the doctor that is right for you. In most patients, I get better within that 2 week period, much better than 50%. But I always just like to explain to them that's my minimum level of expectancy. If I can't get that, I'm going to help you find someone who can help you. Because as a chiropractor, it's not necessarily, even if I can't get the job done, in my world, it's my responsibility to help them find the people who can and to listen to patients. That's something that we should be doing more of if we're not.
Yeah. And from listening to you, it sounds like you have a good fundamental education on Gonstead technique. Um,
It's not bad.
and it sounds like you've had some mentorship from the dead poets, if we will, of
Yes.
chiropractic. um, who have some of your mentors been and helped you formulate the way that you think and practice today?
So really, there's just I would say two major ones. Obviously, my father. He's been a great mentor, and then Dr. Richard Burns. Dr. Burns up there in East Moline used to be a teacher at Palmer or whatever. I interned in his office. I was his patient while I was going through school. Just sitting there and going to his seminars, listening to that man was just he was very very enlightening in a lot of ways, and his etiquette, his patient flow, his just way of analysis is, yeah, Dr. Burns was my probably my biggest chiropractic watch and learn.
Well, I think, based on what you're sharing here with me earlier, you said that you were trying to digest all of the greats, Reggie Gold,
Oh yeah.
Sigafus, like all the big, the important philosophers that we all like have learned from. And I just urge everybody out there to go check out a couple of resources. Sig Talks is an old Sigafus
Right.
recording, started by his son. If you want to learn some great things about philosophy and chiropractic, Sig Talks is just a dynamic resource. And then I would recommend everybody to go on and search for Reggie Gold, The Chemistry of Life, and just watch that man battle the philosophy of chiropractic to the masses. And then take it one step further and listen to The Valley of the Blind. It's a piece that Reggie Gold put out. It's a YouTube video. You can go find it. But I think that
What
the
can I add one
go,
more person?
sure.
Rob Sinnott. I don't know if you've heard of Rob Sinnott, but heart rate
Oh yeah.
variability. I imagine you have. Who am I talking to? You've done all kinds of things. But heart rate variability was a big thing for me going through school, and I really liked the textbook of adaptability, and things of his work and his mindset was also a great teacher and mentor.
So I mean, this profession has volumes and volumes of great educators and great techniques, and it's really cool to hear your story coming from a chiropractic family. And it's really cool to hear that you can diversify your lifestyle with a chiropractic wife and chiropractic siblings and in-laws and the whole thing.
Yeah, it's pretty thick.
Uh, and it sounds like your original miracle story was the first adjustment in your life.
Amen. Yep.
And as a practitioner, I'm sure you see a lot of cases of people having like miraculous, like, healing, or the adjustment was like the one thing that they never had before.
Sure.
And now they got it. Like, can you share with us and close us out today with something you've seen over your 7 years that,
I've got two
might
great
inspire
ones.
some people?
I got two great ones. So a lot of chiropractors we get associated with low back pain, right? And everyone sees that. That's kind of boring. It's easy. What I like is the weird stuff, the stuff that people don't they're shy to talk about. They don't trust other practitioners with. One of them being, so I once treated a little girl, 8-year-old girl. She had wet the bed every night that she could remember, and actually her first adjustment when I adjusted the sacrum, what a concept, right? She stopped wetting the bed that night. So for her, it was just like a miracle in her world. And now she did flare up a couple days later, adjusted it again. She went like a week or 2 weeks. So within 3 adjustments, we had it where she was completely dry throughout the night. But the first one had stopped it immediately. And that's one of those things that's really neat. And I think is a miracle for her because that's a powerful thing. I mean, you can't go over friends' houses, you can't do this, you can't do that. You're embarrassed. Like that's a self confidence thing that we fixed through her through chiropractic. The other one is hilarious in my world. So I had a patient who would have a bowel movement every 2 weeks. And she obviously didn't know that I could do anything about that till she saw like a Merrick chart in the office or in one of their adjusting rooms. And she was like, So I got this problem. I'm like, okay, well, let's see what we can do about it. Scoped her, motioned it. L2 is, I can remember it being L2, and took her over to the knee chest and adjusted her on the knee chest. And you would think that I just like shot her, or I don't know. The grace of God went into her because she went, this big thing went down on the table, or fell, or whatnot. She was just crazy for her, right? And so then a week later, she was friends with one of my CAs. Actually, I'm gonna say is the CA who referred me over to you, and she told me that so and so had said to tell me that her butt hurt, and I was just like, okay, I don't know what to do with that information. And she's like, she's never had to wipe so much because how often she's been going to the bathroom since you adjusted her. And I was just like, I mean, you're welcome. I really don't know what to how you respond to that other than, yeah, awesome, great. And so those are two things that I love to think about. And I guess the final one was a lady. I think about her now when things come back to me, but she had blackout sessions. And this is when I first started being a chiropractor. And this is actually a great educational story, so I'll go with it. But I was probably 6 months into practice, and I had a patient come in who was blacking out. And the worst one was when she was getting pizza from the pizza delivery guy, and she blacked out, and she just woke up, and her version was just that the guy had left the pizza there and took the money or whatever, and all was good. She woke up. I was like, oh, okay. So it, did my workup, found it was a PSLS, so occiput on the left, and then adjusted that, and it blew up. And then she started having this like tremor thing, right, where she was just like, and I'm like, so I was in my head, I was really calm. I was just like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go get some water. Or outside, I was really calm. I'm gonna get you some water. We're gonna, just take a minute. That could be a lot there. We adjusted your occiput, and inside I was a little freaking out. I was like, okay, this is weird. This is not cool. All right. So we laid her out to, laid her down, gave her a few minutes, and then afterwards she got up. I put her on the wobble board, made sure that she was able to cognitively do everything, asked her so many questions. I'm just like, okay, well, all systems go, so I'm gonna let you go. And then she was supposed to see me the next day, didn't show up. I'm like, oh god, oh god. And then we called her, my staff called her, whatever, and she just had to work late. So saw her another like 2 or so days later. She was fine, no big deal. Adjusted her again normally, checked her lower cervical after that, mid back or something, a waitress. And so for the next 3 years, she was my patient, and she never experienced a blackout again after that. She never had any issues again after that. But I can tell you, within my first 6 months of experiencing that freaked me out. But it was a miracle for her. She never had to deal with that, and I was her chiropractor from then on out. So those are just 3 stories that I can think of that really stick in my head for all time.
In the work that I do, when I go out and I schedule people in, I send them into clinics like yours. I say, look, just go in and take the advice of the doctor, please. I'm like, we're going to get you on to 2 visits for this offer. They're going to do a full exam, consultation, health history, neurological evaluation, some muscle testing, some orthopedic work. They're going to shoot some x-rays. They're going to create this thing called the report of findings. You'll come back on visit 2. They're going to give you an explanation of what's going on. They're going to tell you how much concern there is. They're going to tell you how they can help you. And then the cool thing is, you know what? They're going to get you adjusted. And I was like, it's our job to render you a good service and earn your business the old-fashioned way. If you like us, you think we're a great fit, stick with us. If you come in for these first 2 visits, you realize it's not the right place for you, there's no strings attached for further care. But I guarantee you one thing, Maxwell, you're going to like us. And
good pitch.
Then it's up to that person to like actually earn the business of that client. And sure. Then at closing, I say, and by the way, they're going to give you a recommendation for care. I'm like, you told me up to this point, nothing's actually really helped you, or you've been other places and you didn't get results, or you're doing this and you feel like it's not working. I was like, just for once in your life, would you just please take the advice from this doctor and follow the recommendations that they give you and just stick with it? And I say by visit 7, I was like, I'll just tell you right now, you're probably going to become our number 1 referral source. So be prepared for that.
Yeah, exactly. You got a good spiel, brother.
So I lay these patients up to come into your practice. And I mean, I give away good stuff on the show all the time. I talk like that constantly when I get a chance to like interject. But thing is if we just all follow that same type of like a method, we would earn the trust of the whole world.
Right.
And that's really what we're looking for when we talk about the future of chiropractic. People are looking for where they can go, where they can trust, where they can send their friends, where they can send their family, where they can send their babies, where they can send their difficult cases, where they can send people that are constipated. Like, they just need to know where to send their people to.
Right.
And it's our job to deliver on the promise. Find it, fix it, leave it alone. The body needs nothing extra in it, simply needs no interference. When you clear it, the body self-regulates, self-heals. It's not a miracle. It's just the way things are supposed to happen.
What a concept.
So with that, Dr. Maxwell, I appreciate you being on with me today. That's 696th episode. Is there anything I didn't ask you that you want to close out with me today?
No, I think we covered it all.
Well, congratulations for getting back into a third day of practice. I think the world needs you.
Thank you.
There's a lot of people out there that can sell comic books, and there's a lot of people out there that can do Ninja Warrior, but there's only one person out there that can check, detect, and correct vertebral subluxation, and that is you, the chiropractor.
I like it.
So it's cool that you've diversified your lifestyle, and it's really amazing to have you on the show today, and I just really appreciate you spending some time with us.
Thanks for having us, and I appreciate what you're doing for our profession. Thank you. Keep breathing into their head the dogma. Do things right, people, and be consistent.
Well, it's easy once you get it, and that's what BJ Palmer called the big idea. Once you get the big idea, all else follows. With that, I'll close out by telling you guys, you're just one story away. Keep hustling. I'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye for now.
Good night.
Thanks for listening to Chiro Hustle. Don't forget to subscribe and check back next week to continue hustling.